Ghost versus Assassin's Creed. That's what this video is going to be about today. And not with graphics, but actual gameplay. There has been a lot of discussion about how PlayStation exclusives are very Assassin's Creed-like when it's open world. And I wanted to investigate. I looked into this and turned out it is very similar. So we had to think about why is it so similar, and what does the PlayStation exclusive have to offer really. So after much pondering, I came to the conclusion that all games have a shtick, a mechanical foundation, where basically the whole game spawns from. And we're going to get into what is the difference between a PlayStation game versus really anything, to be honest with you. The rest of the games. So let's get into it. So now we're going to get into the mechanical foundations of the Assassin's Creed games, the source, the foundation for which. And as you can see here, this is the menu system for Assassin's Creed. There are three branches basically: your shooting, your actual fighting, and then the little gameplay augmentations. That's what you have going on there, and how the game is basically an RPG. Here we got Ghost of Tsushima's menu system. It's mechanics based, and you have your weapons, your armor, you have all the little things that makes Ghost of Tsushima Ghost of Tsushima. Later on, we're going to be talking about what does the Ghost of Tsushima have to offer, along with the multiplayer as well. But this is how the menu system looks. One of the things that's really cool about the Assassin's Creed series in general is that you are able to climb on every single surface, which is a reminiscent to the Zelda games. As for a lot of different freedom. But what we're going to talk about is the actual combat here. I'm going to actually shut up and allow this to be watched here. Let's take a look here.
Leave it to me, Kyrie.
I will squash you like the vermin you are!
See, Assassin's Creed's focus is actually RPG elements, which you can't really kill enemies unless you level up. Like if you shoot them in the head, they're not going to die unless you whittle down enough points. And that's how the entire game mechanics is with this particular game. It's designed for you to loot so you can get stronger, and your enemies are actually the blockade. So of where you're supposed to go. So in this particular case, you have to do things, missions, to get stronger, to progress to the next mission. So this is how they designed the game. That's its mechanic foundation. You have your exploration, which is to climb on anything. That's how they designed their game, and I'm here for it. We need things, but we need things like this. But a lot of the times, when it comes to, say, open world games, too many people focus on that. And this is where we're going to look at the Ghost of Tsushima, because it's fundamentally different. One of the things that I'm actually proud of in terms of PlayStation exclusives is that with this particular game, you can climb logical ledges. I mean, you got painted on ledges to kind of let you know where to go, but it isn't like, so automated like the Horizon Zero Dawn or Uncharted. Now going into combat, we can see that you have like the stealth takedown thing, which is really effective. It's the instant kill. So much focus went into the combat engine. It made me realize what type of game this is. It's less so a open world game and more so almost like a hack and slash. It's so complicated. I shouldn't say complicated, in depth is the word I'm looking for in terms of its combat. That's the main focus of this, not RPG element where you're looking to loot things. It's more along the lines of, you get better, and it's the minutia of the actual battle. See, even with this one, um, this is a specific gameplay element of the game where it's a one-on-one battle, or you can fight the group of people that you just saw before, or you're doing the horseback riding, the travel, and things of that nature. It's less so really leveling up your character, and more so, actually learning the mechanics and the actual battle, the minutia of everything. That's what I really like about the game. And it doesn't do anything else as in depth than the battle system. So it's almost like an open world hack and slash, if you want to call it that. So that's how I see it. The reason why I'm focusing on Ghost of Tsushima over Assassin's Creed is because it's a new IP and it's misunderstood. A lot of people say that it's a watered down, Assassin's Creed game. But what Assassin's Creed is doing versus Ghost of Tsushima is that it's basically a sum of its parts. It doesn't do any one mechanic very well. You have to look at the whole picture versus Ghost of Tsushima. Its fighting mechanics is done exceptionally well, and everything else kind of plays a supporting part. One of the things that you're not forced to loot in this game. I mean, you have looting to get a little bit better and to get better armor, but there isn't any armor that's better than the other. In Assassin's Creed, you get better and you don't ever use the predecessor of the armor. And again, that's just how this game is actually, that's how it works. And that goes for any PlayStation exclusive if you really look at it. It's not a sum of its parts. It's usually one mechanic that's done really, really well, and then everything else is support and cast. Days Gone, its mechanic foundation is the hordes and its motorcycle, but the looting system it's like been there, done that. You know what I mean? They just find one mechanic and they run with it. That's what it is to be a PlayStation exclusive. They usually have a really good story, and then that one mechanic that is the star of the show. So if you are interested in Ghost of Tsushima, realize that what it is an open world hack and slash game. Don't look at it as an RPG, because you'd be sorely disappointed. That's exactly why some people were disappointed. How come it doesn't have mission variety and stuff like that? I mean, you can really relegate any game, any genre, into like everything is the same. Look at all the shooters. You got Halo versus Killzone, right? They're not the same game at all. They don't play anything close to being the same. But on the fundamentals, you're still aiming and shooting. It's how the game feels and the minutia of its mechanics that sets it apart. But do not look at Ghost of Tsushima as an RPG. It is not. It is a hack and slash over anything, really. And you're there for the experience, really. They don't kind of force RPG elements to level up. You're just there for the experience, and that includes the fighting mechanics. That's why I really like Ghost of Tsushima. That's why it's one of the game of the years to me personally. And if you like that type of game, I think, like hack and slash, I think you should really give it a look.